Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good to see you all. If you can take a seat, we're going to start our service. I see people having a wonderful discussion on my right. Good to see you all. Welcome to our first July service, our first outside service, which I am most appreciative of. I think it's the best way to practice, and our first service with our new rabbi, Rabbi Karen Gorbin. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Shabbat Shalom. You can't see the whole smile under my mask.
Yes.
But I'm very excited to be here, and really wonderful. It's really wonderful to be able to be here with all of you, and all of you who are joining us online as well. We'll begin our service celebrating how great it is, how wonderful it is to be together with Hine Matov on page 10.
Join us in this round. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Go back to the beginning. Here we go. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad.
We celebrate the beauty of this day with Ma Yafeh Hayom just below.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Sing with us. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
We turn back to pages 3 and 2 for our candle lighting, and I'd like to invite Liz Zitron and the family up to light the Shabbat candles. And come around to avoid the cords.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Do you want to say that part?
I didn't even know how to pronounce it. what? I know. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with the mitzvah, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Nice.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kisher b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
I don't know if I can light it.
Oh, awesome.
There we go.
Shabbat shalom, you guys. Shabbat shalom. Aw. You can do it next. All right. Shabbat shalom. We're going to continue as we celebrate this moment in time. We talk the Shehechianu prayer, and it says, thank you to God for giving us our life, for giving us this moment that we share together. It is so good to see all of you in one place as we share in the joy of Rabbi Gorbin here this evening. I hope you've been watching. I don't know if you've seen any of her Facebook posts, but they have been great. And she's been telling me a little about the heat as she's been coming across the country. So I ask you to join with me in the Shehechianu. And why don't we stand for the Shehechianu to honor our rabbi? You can find it on page 344, if you're not familiar with it. 344, the second from the top. Here we go. And you can just stand there. You don't even have to sing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Please be seated.
So I think most of you know that I do come with a guitar. And some melodies that I know you are less familiar with or perhaps even completely unfamiliar with. This melody is a version of Psalm 95, which is on page 12. You will only have the words for the chorus that are right there. The other ones are in English, which you do not have, but that's okay. Because you can sing along with the chorus, and if the Hebrew is too much, you can even sing along with the la la la's. So I'm going to sing the chorus for you first, and then invite you to join along with me.
we're going to continue now with Lechadodi on pages 20 and 21. We'll do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And for the 9th verse, I guess we'll turn and face this way to welcome the Sabbath bride, I guess, although we might
We
turn
should turn
around
and face
too. Yes,
see the other people around you.
Exactly.
That's the whole goal, is to greet each other.
exactly. So join us, page 20 and 21. Lekadoni likrakana, b'nei Shabbat nekabelam. Lekadoni likrakana, b'nei Shabbat nekabelam. Shamo v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el ha-meyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litehila. Hey! Lekadoni likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabelam. Likrat Shabbat letov v'nelcha, ki mekor Ha'oracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Again. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Itoreri, teoreri, kiva orecho miori, ori, shidaveri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lechadoni likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvetzola, tochem uneam segula. Boi chala, Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. We continue, please be seated. We continue with Hatzi Kaddish on page 26. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'amad yivrach chilutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayecho nevyomechon, U'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, Bagala, bagala, U'v'zman kariv v'imru. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'lam me'amayam. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei dekodeshah, Richu, le'ela min kobechata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damirad me'ama ve'imru.
Amen.
We rise for the formal call to worship on page 28 and face east. Ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ha'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Oh yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Page 31, we join together in the middle. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 32.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha avta, Amcha avta. Torah u'mitzvot, u'kimo mishpatim, otanu lemadeta, otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shochbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach v'chukecha, v'nizmach v'divrei Toratcha, uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavat ha'al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Please be seated.
Continue on page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha
והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
As we turn to prayers for redemption, for that hope of freedom for us and for all people, we join together at the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
For freedom.
Ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya dai 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 dai, ya ba ba bim bam, ya dai 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 dai, ya ba bim bam. Mi kamocha b'halim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, osef Torah tehilot, osef malechutecha rahovatecha, Hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam zeli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Hey, yabba bim bim bam, yabba bim bam, yabba bim bam bam, yabba bim bam, yai dai 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 dai, yabba bim bam, yai dai 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 dai, yabba bim bam. Kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ug'alo mi'ad chazak mimenu, baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We continue with Hashkivenu, this prayer asking for a shelter over us from life's storms. The text can be found on page 43 at the top, as well as the words Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom. Join with us. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu L'Shalom. Yehavidenu, Shofteinu L'chaim, Ufus Amenu, Tzufat Shlomecha, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu L'Shalom. Ata Adonai, Haporei Sukkot Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Page 44, we join together in Vishamru, celebrating Shabbat.
Vishamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat Ledorotam berit olam Vishamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat Ledorotam berit olam Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamro b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'shamro v'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, V'shamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat, Ledorotam berit olam, V'shamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
On page 46, we begin the Amidah, the section of our service that the ancient rabbis called the Tefillah, the prayer. This is the core time for us to find our connection with the divine. We offer some introductory prayers, asking God to open our mouths in prayer. And each of us has things that we are praying for, that we are hoping for ourselves and for our world. And I invite you, even as we are joined together in communal prayer, to find moments for yourself to offer those prayers that you hold in your heart. We join together, and I invite you to rise and bow to your spirit on page 46.
And we face east. Adonai Satai Tivtach, Adonai Satai Tivtach, Ofi Agid Tehilatecha, Ofi Agid Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorav El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei Bneihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, O matir asurim, O mekayem emunato, lishene afar, micha mocha bal gevurot, O midom elach, melech memit, O mechaye, O matmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. We continue on page 55. We join together at the top. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. Together at the top of 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot.
A prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, on page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
We offer our personal prayers.
Page 62 in the middle. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, ויון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, ve'imru, Amen.
In case you weren't aware, moving is really stressful. Local moves can be challenging enough. I've been through quite a few of them. But long distance moves that take place over days or weeks are difficult under even the best of circumstances. And moving just one person can be a hassle, but let's not even talk about moving a family or a group of people. Now, I may or may not be talking about my recent move from Pittsburgh to Tacoma with my 2-year-old Yuval. Yuval, do you want to wave? Yeah, I didn't think so. Our au pair, Diana, and my mom, Jan, who's back there, who came along for the ride and to help out along the journey. But don't forget, we are also reading about an epic move in our Torah reading cycle. as the Israelites leave Egypt and head to the Promised Land. Some of the stress of moving is definitely in managing the logistics. Other stress comes from having to navigate change, both dealing with the loss of what was and navigating how to move forward. But perhaps the most difficult part of moving, especially a long-distance move, is the time in between, the liminal space, when you're pretty much out of the old place and getting to or setting up in the new one. My moving truck, for example, took 2 weeks to arrive here, and so did I. Even though I recognize the immense privilege of being able to visit cities, family, and national parks, it was hard to live out of suitcases for 2 weeks, to be in the car for hours on end, and to not be able to sleep in my own bed or in my own room. By the end of the trip, Yuval basically refused to get into his car seat, and my mom and I were easily irritated by the little things. We were in the wilderness, sometimes literally, between one home and another for just a little too long. Right? It's no wonder then that the Israelites, who traveled as family groups totaling about 1.5 million people for about 2 years, would be up in arms about being told that their move would last for another 38 years. I know for myself that I wasn't entirely sure that we would make it out of Montana due to all of the extra stops we had to make, the construction, and the traffic on some of the 2-lane highways. I was practically yelling, although it was just in my car and with the windows up so that the other drivers wouldn't hear me, at the slow pokes blocking traffic. So it makes sense to me that Korach, the namesake of this week's Parsha, and his friends Datan, Aviram, and On would rise up against Moses in frustration that their move was going to be extended. You at Temple Beth have also been in a sort of wilderness for a number of years. Your beloved leader, Rabbi Cadden, retired 2 years ago right at the beginning of COVID. Cantor Fine did an incredible job keeping the congregation steady and supported by himself during a time that was enormously stressful for everyone. And Rabbi TV has helped support him as the Rabbinic Search Task Force continued to look for a new leader. I can only imagine how tired you are of this wilderness, how frustrated you have been without a stable rabbinic leader to help move this congregation forward. And I am so pleased to finally be joining you here to help you move out of the wilderness and into a promised land of sorts. Although I will remind you that no promised land is perfect. Remember, it is still eternally Egypt. I am not a miracle worker, and I am not a prophet, and I don't have any more of a direct line to God than any of you. But I see the potential in this community, and I am looking forward to exploring your visions of the ideal Temple Beth determining what we can create together, and leading our work toward that vision. Bevy, can you stop that? My most important request for you is your patience and your assumption of goodwill. I can neither bring you out of this wilderness immediately, nor can I do it alone. I will make mistakes, I will drop the ball, and I will need time. But I can promise you that I will be working to support and sustain the communal and spiritual life of each of you and of this community as a whole. And I can promise you that your support in various ways will make me and ultimately the whole congregation more successful. I don't believe that Korach and his buddies were inappropriately upset with the situation they were in. If the Israelites weren't upset, I would be concerned. The problem is that Korach and his buddies lashed out publicly and staged a coup to overthrow Moses and Aaron. They thought that they knew better how to accomplish the goal of getting into the promised land. And there even seemed to be an unspoken question about Moses and Aaron's right to leadership. Had they come to Moses and Aaron with concerns and offered to partner with them in supporting the Israelite community, they might have been able to shift some of the dynamics of spending too much time in limbo, even if they couldn't change the reality of being stuck in the wilderness. We will still be in the wilderness a little bit longer, but I hope that you will trust me as your leader and pray that you will partner with me as we walk towards Temple Beth El's promised land so that we together can create a community of blessing. Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to invite up Carolyn Elsie, our president, to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Okay, can you hear me now? All right. Good evening, and first I, like everyone else, would like to welcome Rabbi Gorban here, and also like to thank our tech team and security and everybody who's helped make this service possible. And a special shout out to whatever meteorologist dialed up today's weather. This is a lovely, lovely evening. We have quite a bit going on. As usual, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is Torah study online, followed by services at 10, which are still only on Zoom. And then 7:30 p.m. tomorrow is Havdalah on Zoom. If you have tickets for baseball, that's Sunday at 4 p.m. I don't know if they're going to let you run with rhubarb, but maybe they will. On Saturday the 9th is Pride in Tacoma. It's going to be on Pacific Avenue between 7th and 9th. And it starts at noon, ends at 6 p.m. And we still need volunteers for Temple Bethel's booth at Pride. So please see the cantor if you're interested in volunteering for that.
Especially 4 to 6.
Okay, 4 to 6 is a
Thank you.
special time. And then on the 17th, there is a Pride Interfaith service at 1:30 on the UPS campus. And then on the 24th, which is a Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the annual cleanup at the Home of Peace Cemetery. It's a special mitzvah. And at 2 o'clock here, there's going to be a summer barbecue. And it'll be a chance to also rub elbows with our new rabbi and get to know her better. And I need a special request that we need help with our tech team. We're down to 2 people. We have a trainee today, but for people who like to watch this stuff online, it only happens because we have people here. And we really need people to be willing to step up and help make it happen. If we don't have them, we don't have a broadcast. So please talk to Aaron Peterson, who's here, or Jordan Harris. And Tikkun Olam is still accepting donations for the Slavic Center. They're assisting some Ukrainian refugees. And Sisterhood has their Pacific Northwest area meeting in Vancouver, Washington at the end of this month. Oh, in Canada? Okay. Check with Maddie Plumer, and she has all the information. The deadlines have all been extended to the 7th. So next week, there's still time to sign up, or if you need a scholarship. And then finally, Sisterhood also wanted to make sure that that Nourish Pierce County Food Bank requires volunteers on the 11th of this month. And you can contact Maddie Plumer about that. And always, if you don't get the weekly Shabbat Shalom email, please contact the office. It always carries all these great announcements. There's much more in it. But I think we want to just sit back and enjoy the weather. So anyway, Shabbat Shalom. And again, welcome to Rabbi Gorban. Thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you to Carolyn for the announcements, to Debbie Jupp, our accompanist, thank you. Aaron and Jordan for being our tech team this evening. Liz Zitron for lighting candles. And Sean Berthel and Manny Espinoza for being our security this evening, and Maddie Pimental and Diaz and Vivian Morrison for being our service supporters.
You did that so well. And thank you to Rabbi Gorbin for being here and for her beautiful words this evening. Yes, you can clap. And Yuval. It's good to see you, Yuval. I'll see a lot of you. Good to see you. All right, we're going to continue with Misha Berach on page 253. Page 253.
There are so many in our community and in our lives and in our world who are in need of healing, whether that's healing of mind, healing of body, or healing of spirit. As we offer these words, I invite you to share the names with our community as my eyes meet yours, or to hold them in your heart.
Thinking of those in our community that are COVID positive tonight.
Page 253.
May the source of strength, oh, bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Continue now as we move towards the conclusion of our service, beginning with Aleinu and V'ne'emar, pages 282 and then 287, and I'll ask you to rise and face east again. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, l'teit gedula le'otzer breshit, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם,
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
As we turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, we think also of the fact that this is 4th of July weekend. And we offer, well, I just need to find the page, on page 593, we offer this prayer of memory for all those who have died in defense of our nation and the freedoms that we have. Remember our people who suffered and died so that we could be free and secure. May their memory be more than a distant shadow. For their dreams left unfulfilled and lives taken too soon, we remember. Remember our brothers and sisters whose sacrifice kept the dream of democracy and justice alive. May their courage be our inspiration and strength. For life cut short and vision unrealized, we remember. Remember the fallen of our armed services, the victims of terror and tragedy. May the darkness of their loss not obscure the light of peace. They were in love with our land and in love with life. For the agony, the tears, the mothers and the fathers, for the children who were and for the children yet to be, we remember. Our thoughts also turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those of our friends and those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we are working on getting our Kaddish list. Well, we are not able to find our yard site list right now. So I'm going to invite anyone who is observing a yahrzeit to share the names with our community. Does anyone have a name of someone that they are remembering to share with us? My family is also remembering my great-grandfather, Morris Margaretin, and Aaron Peterson may have just William Appel. We remember on this Shabbat William Appel, Solomon Becker, Laura Davidson Bradley, Ruth Brandon, Alexander Cohen, Gary Cooper, Michael Doctor, Herbert Matthew Dreyer, Aaron Fagenbaum, Miriam R. Franklin, Anna Freeman, Lillian Goldstone, Judith Hain, Abraham Kadish, Vera Kaltenik, Rabbi Philip Kleinman, Anna Kosin, Margaret Lemon, Samuel Leonard, Benjamin B. Lipnick, William D. Meyer, Jessica Lynn Moore, Don Owings, Mark Perlis, Ralph Conrad Reineman, Peggy Rue, Frank Ruff, Elizabeth Sheeler, Rose Toriel Sherman, Larry Scherzer, Rose Sussman, Joan F. Sweeney, Fanny Tat, Marcy Trent, and Caroline Wurzweiler. As we think of them, we say Zichronam Livracha, may their memories always be a blessing. And the words of the mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Belma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivrach v'lam u'amei almai. Yitbarach v'yitramam Vitadar vitalev vitalal shmeid kudusha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechmata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemayim v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say,
Amen.
We also pray for a world that only knows peace with the words of Oseh Shalom.
Page 343.
Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. You know it with me now. Ready? Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Let me hear you. Nice. Leinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
So we're going to do Kiddush and Motzi, after which we'll have our Oneg in celebration of Rabbi Gorbin, and brought to you this evening by Rabbi Emeritus Bruce Cadden and Leslie Birnbaum. Thank you so much. It will be in the social hall, but also you can go out into our courtyard. And let's see, and if you can return your books and your seats to the rack so that not the rabbi and the cantor will clean it and get it all back there. That would be very much appreciated. So let's join together. We're going to be first on page 5 for Kiddush and 302 for Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu B'Shabbat Kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemase v'reishit ki hu yom tefila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim Kivanu vakarta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat lechaim. Our Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please wish each other good Shabbos.